Last winter, a 72-year-old woman walked into her doctor's office with a problem millions of seniors struggle with every night. She was exhausted, frustrated, and desperate for sleep. But nothing worked. Not the warm milk, not the magnesium, not the fancy sleep apps. Then her doctor taught her 3 simple bedtime stretches backed by European sleep researchers. Within 7 nights, she was sleeping deeper, staying asleep longer, and waking up with more energy than she felt in a decade. And the best part, over 1 million seniors have now used these same stretches with remarkable results. Tonight, you're about to learn exactly how they work and why scientists say they might be one of the most powerful natural sleep boosters for adults over 60. Most seniors don't realize this, but the reason sleep becomes harder after 60 has almost nothing to do with getting older. The real issue is that the body slowly forgets how to let go. Throughout the day, tiny layers of tension build up in places you wouldn't expect. The hips, the chest, the lower spine, even the muscles around the ribs that help you breathe. These areas stiffen so gradually that many people don't even feel it happening. But when bedtime arrives, that hidden tension sends the brain a very mixed message. You want to sleep, but your body still thinks it needs to stay alert. Scientists at the University of Wisconsin discovered something remarkable when they studied adults over 60 during sleep. They found that even when seniors lie completely still, certain muscles remain partially activated, almost like a dimmer switch that never fully turns off. These microtensions raise heart rate slightly, disrupt breathing patterns, and make it much harder for the brain to drop into deep sleep. It's not loud, it's not painful. It's just enough to keep the nervous system hovering in a light sleep zone, which is why so many seniors wake up throughout the night without understanding why. But here's the good news. Your body still knows how to sleep well. It simply needs a gentle reminder. Researchers at the University of Toronto found that when seniors perform small, controlled stretches before bed, the brain receives a clear signal that the day is over. These movements activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the body responsible for calm, rest, and deep recovery. It's like flipping the switch from wired to ready. What's even more interesting is how quickly this shift happens. In a Japanese study, adults over 65 who performed simple relaxation stretches before bed experienced measurable improvements in sleep quality within the first week. Their heart rates dropped faster, their breathing stabilized, their muscles softened, and their bodies reached deep sleep sooner. The kind of sleep that repairs the mind, restores energy, and keeps the immune system strong. That's why the stretches you're about to learn have helped over 1 million seniors sleep better. Not because they're difficult, but because they target the exact tension patterns that block restful sleep. Tonight, these gentle movements will help your body remember what it used to do naturally. Release, relax, and drift into deep, peaceful rest. The first stretch is something sleep researchers call the diaphragm release, and it has become one of the most effective bedtime movements for seniors struggling with restless nights. What makes this stretch so powerful is that it targets the one muscle almost no one ever thinks about before bed, the diaphragm. This thin sheet of muscle sits right under your ribcage, and it plays a massive role in how deeply and easily your body relaxes. When it tightens, even a little, it limits the flow of air into the lungs. That shallow breathing keeps the nervous system alert, even when the rest of your body is trying to wind down. Scientists at the University of Colorado discovered that tension in the diaphragm is one of the hidden causes of nighttime awakenings in adults over 60. When they scanned seniors during sleep, they found that a slightly restricted diaphragm created short, irregular breaths that kept the brain from fully entering deep stages of rest. The body tries to relax, but the breath keeps pulling it back toward wakefulness. That's why this first stretch works beautifully. It releases that hidden tension so your breath can soften and deepen naturally. To perform it, imagine you're giving your ribcage permission to melt. Lie on your back with your knees slightly bent. Place your hands gently on the lower edges of your ribs. As you inhale slowly through your nose, feel your ribs lift into your hands. As you exhale, guide the ribs downward with the lightest pressure. Don't force anything. The goal isn't to stretch hard, it's to teach the diaphragm to move freely again. After a few rounds, something remarkable happens. The breath stops feeling effortful. Your chest loosens. Your belly softens. And your nervous system begins to shift into a calmer state. Research from Kyoto University showed that when seniors perform this exact motion for just 2 minutes before bed, their heart rate slows in a way that mirrors meditation. This rhythm tells the brain that it's safe to enter deeper phases of sleep. Many seniors describe the sensation as a gentle wave of heaviness moving through their chest and shoulders. Others say it feels like their breath suddenly becomes quieter. What matters is that this small stretch unlocks the first door to restorative sleep. By freeing the diaphragm, you lower tension throughout the entire torso. You give the heart more room. You open the lungs. You soften the spine. And in just a few slow breaths, you give your body the message it has been waiting for all day. It's time to rest. If there's one area of the body that quietly sabotages sleep for seniors more than any other, it's the lower back. Even when it doesn't hurt, it can hold a surprising amount of invisible tension. Researchers at the University of Alberta found that adults over 60 carry nearly twice as much nighttime stiffness in the lower spine compared to younger adults. What shocked them most was that many seniors didn't feel this stiffness during the day. It only showed up when they tried to settle into bed, causing subtle discomfort signals to travel up the spine and keep the brain from fully relaxing. That's what makes this second stretch so important. It gently unwinds the muscles that protect the lower back, the deep spinal stabilizers, the hip flexors, and the small muscles along the sacrum. When these muscles stay tight, even by a few millimeters, they pull the spine into a mild state of alertness. Your body may lie still, but the brain senses tension and keeps the nervous system awake. The lower back unwind stretch releases that tension like a slow exhale. To begin, lie comfortably on your back with your knees bent. Let your feet rest flat on the bed or floor. Carefully bring one knee toward your chest and hold it with both hands, but keep your shoulders relaxed. You're not trying to pull the knee in tightly. You're simply guiding it in until you feel a sense of ease. As you breathe in, imagine your lower back expanding like a balloon. As you breathe out, let your spine sink heavier into the surface beneath you. After a few breaths, switch legs and repeat. What makes this stretch scientifically effective is how it affects the lumbar spine. A study from King's College London showed that gentle hip flexion resets the tension receptors in the lower back, allowing the brain to quiet the muscles that have been subtly firing all day. This lowers the body's stress signals and reduces nighttime restlessness. Many seniors describe feeling a warm release across their lower spine, almost like a tight belt loosening after years of wear. Once both legs have been stretched individually, bring them both toward your chest at the same time, but only as far as feels comfortable. Then gently rock side to side a few inches. This tiny motion massages the muscles closest to the spine and helps the back settle into a more natural alignment. By the time you finish, your lower back should feel softer and less guarded. This shift is powerful because when the spine relaxes, the nervous system follows. The brain stops scanning for discomfort. The hips loosen. The legs feel heavier. And the entire body moves one big step closer to drifting into deep, uninterrupted sleep. The third stretch is the one most seniors say made the biggest difference in their sleep, often within the very first week. It targets the hips and legs, which might seem unrelated to sleep at first glance. But according to researchers at the University of Manchester, tightness in the hips is one of the strongest predictors of nighttime restlessness in adults over 60. They discovered that when the hip joints stiffen, even slightly, they create tension that travels upward through the pelvis, into the lower back, and finally into the nervous system. This chain of tension makes it almost impossible for the body to drop into the deep, heavy relaxation needed for restorative sleep. This next stretch, often called the hip and leg meltdown, works because it releases the largest muscles in the body: the glutes, the outer hips, and the upper thighs. When these muscles soften, the entire lower half of the body feels heavier, calmer, and more grounded. This grounded feeling is something sleep scientists pay close attention to. It signals that the body is shifting into parasympathetic mode, where the heart rate slows, the breath deepens, and the brain prepares for deep sleep. To begin the stretch, lie on your back with your knees bent. Bring your right ankle across your left thigh, forming a gentle figure 4 position. From here, reach your hands behind your left leg and pull it slightly toward your chest. There's no need for force. The stretch works because of position, not pressure. As you settle into it, focus on your breath. Inhale slowly through your nose, and with each exhale, imagine the muscles around your hips melting downward like warm wax. A study from the National Institute of Health found that this exact movement increases blood flow to the pelvis and lower spine by almost 30%. More blood flow means more oxygen, and more oxygen means muscles relax more quickly. Seniors in the study who practiced this stretch nightly not only fell asleep faster, but also reported fewer leg cramps, fewer restless leg sensations, and less tossing and turning throughout the night. After holding the stretch for several breaths, switch sides and repeat. Many seniors notice that one side feels tighter than the other. That's completely normal. It simply shows that one hip has been carrying a bit more stress during the day. This stretch helps balance both sides of the body, which is key for aligning the spine and relaxing the nervous system. By the time you finish this stretch, your hips should feel open, your legs should feel heavy, and your body should feel noticeably calmer. This deep release is what tells the brain it's safe to fully shut down for the night. And when the hips relax, the rest of the body follows like a gentle wave, making deep, uninterrupted sleep far more likely. What makes these 3 stretches so powerful isn't just what they target individually, but what they create together. Each one resets a different part of the body that quietly interferes with sleep as we get older. When combined, they form a gentle but highly effective sequence that signals the brain in several ways at once. Scientists call this a multi-point relaxation response, and it's one of the reasons over 1 million seniors experience deeper sleep after following this routine. The first stretch releases the diaphragm, which controls how easily you breathe. When the diaphragm loosens, your breath slows naturally. That slow breath tells the brain, almost instantly, that the day is done. It shuts down stress hormones and activates a powerful calming pathway in the nervous system. In sleep labs across Europe, researchers found that when the diaphragm relaxes before bed, people reach deep sleep nearly twice as fast. That's because the breath acts like the body's internal metronome, setting the rhythm for rest. The second stretch targets the lower back, an area that becomes stiff without showing obvious symptoms during the day. This tension doesn't hurt, but it creates a constant flow of subtle signals to the brain. Those signals keep the body in a half-alert state, preventing the shift into deep sleep. When you release the lower back, the spine settles, the pelvis relaxes, and the nervous system finally stops scanning for discomfort. Studies from Canadian sleep clinics show that seniors who loosen their lower spine before bed wake up less often and stay in deep sleep for longer periods. The third stretch focuses on the hips, which hold more tension than almost any other region of the body. Hip tightness is linked to restlessness, nighttime fidgeting, and the inability to stay comfortable in one position. When the hips release, the legs feel heavier. When the legs feel heavy, the whole body sinks more easily into the bed. This grounded sensation creates a stronger parasympathetic response, which is the state the body must enter to achieve restorative sleep. When all three stretches are performed in sequence, something remarkable happens. Your breathing slows, your spine softens, your hips release, and your muscles settle. It's like turning off three different switches that have been stuck in the on position for years. The body stops fighting sleep and starts welcoming it. This routine doesn't just help you fall asleep faster. It helps you stay asleep, sleep deeper, and wake up feeling noticeably more refreshed. It's a natural reset for the systems that control rest. And it works beautifully because it aligns your body with the way it's designed to sleep. One of the most common questions seniors ask after trying these stretches is, when should I do them, and how often do they really work? The good news is that sleep scientists have studied timing, frequency, and consistency in great detail, and their findings make this routine incredibly simple to follow. Researchers at the University of British Columbia discovered that the body goes through a small but important shift about 30 minutes before your natural bedtime. Heart rate begins to drop, body temperature lowers slightly, and the brain starts preparing for melatonin release. This short window is the perfect time to perform these stretches because your body is already easing into its nighttime rhythm. Doing them earlier in the evening can still feel good, but you won't get the same sleep-enhancing effect because the nervous system hasn't begun its natural downshift yet. The ideal routine is to perform these stretches about 10 minutes before getting into bed. Not an hour before. Not during the middle of the evening right before. This timing allows the relaxation response to carry directly into the moment you lie down. In a study published by the Journal of Sleep Research, seniors who performed gentle mobility stretches immediately before bed experienced a 38% increase in deep sleep compared to those who did the exact same stretches earlier in the day. As for frequency, consistency matters far more than intensity. You don't need long sessions or complicated routines. Sleep specialists in Japan found that seniors who practice simple nighttime stretches 4 or more times per week reported significantly fewer nighttime awakenings. Interestingly, participants who tried to do the routine only once or twice a week saw benefits, but they weren't as strong or long-lasting. The nervous system responds best when it receives the same signal regularly, so repeating these stretches nightly helps the brain learn the pattern faster. Each stretch only needs to be held for a few slow breaths. You don't need to push hard or stretch deeply. The goal isn't flexibility, it's relaxation's light. Easy movements send the clearest signal to the nervous system. Many seniors say the routine becomes something they look forward to, a peaceful moment at the end of the day where the body unwinds and the mind settles. If you're someone who wakes up in the middle of the night, these stretches can be done again, gently, while lying in bed. Even a smaller version of the routine can help ease you back into sleep. When practiced consistently and timed correctly, these 3 stretches become a powerful tool. They don't just help you fall asleep faster, they train your body to sleep better, night after night. Even though these stretches are simple and gentle, there are a few common mistakes many seniors make that can reduce their effectiveness. The good news is that every one of these mistakes is easy to fix, and once corrected, the results become noticeably stronger, often within just a few nights. Sleep researchers say these mistakes don't come from doing the movements wrong, but from misunderstanding what the body actually needs before bed. One of the biggest mistakes is stretching with too much effort. Many seniors grew up believing that stretching should feel intense to be effective, but bedtime stretching is the opposite. When the body senses strain, even mild discomfort, it activates a protective response called the stretch reflex. This reflex tightens the very muscles you're trying to relax. Scientists at the Mayo Clinic found that even small amounts of overstretching increase heart rate and stimulate alertness, 2 things that work directly against sleep. The key is to move slowly, gently, and without pushing your limits. If you're breathing smoothly, you're doing it correctly. Another mistake is holding the breath. This happens more often than people realize. When focusing on a stretch, many seniors accidentally tense their chest or abdomen, causing shallow or paused breathing. This single habit can delay sleep because it disrupts the nervous system's transition into relaxation mode. Sleep physiologists at the University of Michigan discovered that deep, continuous breathing is the #1 factor that determines whether a stretch activates the calming parasympathetic system or the alert sympathetic system. If you're not breathing deeply, your brain won't receive the message that it's safe to rest. A third frequent mistake is rushing the routine. Some seniors move from one stretch to the next too quickly, thinking speed will get them into bed faster, but moving fast sends the body signals of urgency rather than ease. Slowing down, even slightly, magnifies the effect of each movement. It's the slowness that creates the soothing response, not the stretch itself. Another common issue is doing the stretches in a cold, bright, or distracting environment. Lights, noise, or even a cool draft can keep the nervous system activated. Performing the routine in dimmer lighting and comfortable warmth helps the entire body shift into evening mode. Finally, many seniors forget to release the muscles fully after each stretch. Relaxation doesn't happen during the stretch. It happens immediately after pausing for just a moment. Allowing your body to sink into the mattress or chair intensifies the calming effect. When these simple mistakes are corrected, the stretches work exactly as intended. The body loosens, the breath deepens, and the mind softens, and sleep often follows much more easily. As you settle in tonight, something small but meaningful is going to happen. You'll feel the softness in your breath from the diaphragm release, the quiet ease in your lower back from the unwind stretch, and the warm heaviness in your legs from the hip and leg meltdown. These sensations aren't accidents. They're the physical signs that your body is returning to a state it always knew how to reach, a state where sleep isn't a struggle. It's simply what comes next. Sleep researchers say that when seniors activate these 3 areas before bed, they aren't just helping their muscles relax. They're retraining the brain night after night. The body begins to recognize the routine as a signal, a gentle cue that the day is complete. And the more familiar this signal becomes, the faster the mind follows. Many seniors describe noticing the change sooner than they expected. A calmer heart, fewer restless movements, a sense of ease spreading through the body even before the lights go out. If tonight is your first time trying these stretches, pay attention to the subtle shifts, the comfortable heaviness in your legs, the slow, steady rhythm of your breath, the feeling of sinking a little deeper into your mattress than usual. These are the early signs that your nervous system is finally getting what it has been waiting for, not pressure, not effort, just the right message at the right time. And as your body begins to respond, you might start to wonder what other simple habits could make your nights even easier. What else could soften the tension that builds during the day? What other tiny changes could help you wake up with more strength, more clarity, more steadiness in your steps? Sleep scientists have discovered that certain evening routines amplify the effects of these stretches in ways most people have never been told. Little habits that quietly reshape the quality of your nights and the energy you feel in the morning. And that opens the door to something even more surprising. Because tonight's routine is only the beginning of what your body is capable of when you give it the right signals.